Hello everyone, I'm Vicki Williams, reading specialist for the county, and today we would like to welcome you to the Inservice on questioning. And so to start that off with, I just have a few thought-provoking quotes that I got out of the Strategies That Work book and a questioning magazine. Curiosity spawns questions. Questions are the master key to understanding. Questions clarify confusion. Questions stimulate research efforts. Questions propel us forward and take us deeper into reading. Human beings are driven to find answers and make sense of the world. That's from Strategies That Work. From Grant Wiggins and Denise Wilbur and the magazine Questioning, are questions born or made? What happens to the born questioners when they enter school? Do they become unmade questioners? Or maybe we should be asking this: what can we do to ensure that by the time all students leave high school, they're proficient at asking questions?
As teachers, we want to help those developing readers become great readers, and questioning is a wonderful strategy to help you with this goal. The QAR is a great way to do that. QAR, what does it stand for? Question, answer, relationship. Students assume that the answer to every question is directly stated somewhere in the text, and they spend too much time looking for answers that are not right there. Their frustration mounts to the point where they won't even go back to the text at all. QAR strategies will help you to end that frustration. QAR is a powerful thinking strategy that helps teachers and their students. There are 4 ways to do that. The 4 basic question-answer relationships. Number 2, a powerful strategy that will help them to understand the different types of questions and how to effectively and efficiently approach various texts based on the different question-answer relationships. And 4, a language for talking about strategies they need to use to answer questions. When do we use this strategy? Well, we can use this strategy across a variety of genres and content areas to improve their reading, comprehension, and ability to apply higher level thinking to the text. When can you use it? You can use it in all phases: before reading, during reading, and after reading. Targeted skills, reading skills that you will be doing is using textual evidence to substantiate textual claims. You'll also be drawing conclusions and making inferences based on explicit and implicit information.
Slide of a poster that you will receive to put on the wall in your classroom. This is another example. It's a flow chart of a QAR in the book questions, which are right there in Think and Search, and in the head questions, author and me, and on my own. Write their questions. The answer can be found in the text, the story, or the selection. The answer is found in one place in the text, and the answer is usually a detail or a fact. Write their questions will require you to look back to the text and find the correct information to answer the question. These are sometimes called literal questions because the correct answer can be found in one place in the text. Write their question stems. Here are a few examples. Who is or who did, when is or when did, name the character, and how many. Think and search. The answer can be found in the text, story, or the passage. Readers must think and put together different pieces of information. Readers put together information within a paragraph or across a paragraph. Think and search questions usually require you to think about how ideas or information in the text are related. You will need to look back at the text, find the information that the question refers to, and then think about how the information or ideas fit together. The information may be in multiple places in the text. And some examples of think and search stems are: give the reasons why, how do or how did, compare, contrast, how many times, and the main idea of the passage is.
Author and me questions. The answer is not in the text, story, or selection, but the reader must read the text. Readers must think about how the text and what they fit together. Author and me questions require you to use ideas and information that are not stated directly in the text to answer the question. These questions require you to think about what you have read and formulate your own ideas or opinions. Read between the lines. Here are a few author and me stems. What do you think? Why did the author? I wonder, what if? On my own questions, the answer is not in the story or selection. The answer may be connected to the ideas in the text. Readers need to use their own ideas and experiences to answer the question. On my own questions can be answered using your background knowledge on a topic. This type of question is the most infrequent question on tests of reading comprehension because it does not require you to refer to the text. Beyond the lines, it's all about you. On my own stems, here are a few that you may use with your students. In your opinion, do you agree with? Why? If you could, how would you feel about? Now let's try it.
How do I teach the QAR? There's a gradual release between the teacher's responsibility and what the student is supposed to do. The teacher will have a focused lesson and then do guided instruction in which the student is learning. Then there will be a shift to a collaborative lesson where the teacher and the student do the work together. Eventually, the student will do the work independently. The researchers recommend that each strategy be taught with singular focus over a long period of time. The students from kindergarten through 12th grade and beyond, and that teachers model and students practice the strategies with a variety of text. If teachers focus their attention on a strategy, beginning with a great deal of modeling and gradually releasing responsibility to the children to practice it independently, the researchers believe students could actually be taught to think differently as they read. So you want to do a gradual release with each subject of reading, fiction, nonfiction, and functional text, and you want to use each question type. So you'll start with your Right There questions, move on to Think and Search, Author and You, On My Own. And you'll do this for about 4 to 6 weeks for each section of reading.
Suggested QAR lesson using gradual release of responsibility. First of all, we do teacher-directed whole group instruction. You give an overview of the QAR poster, which everyone will have a copy of. Explain that there are two types of information. There's in the book information, where the information is right there in the book. And there's in my head information. It can't be found directly in the book and must come from the reader's own experiences. Explain that for each type of information, there are two types of questions. You may want to stay within the book type for a while. First of all, there's Right There. The answer can be found directly in the text. And there's Think and Search, where the answer is in the text, but the reader has to look for it in several different places. In the activity that you're going to do in just a moment, you're going to read aloud and discuss a selection of easy text, and this is what you would do with the students. You would demonstrate the strategy for finding the answers to Right There questions. And then as a follow-up, you would want to move on into guided practice, where you guide through the students through the process by having them tell you how to answer some of the Right There questions. Then you have group practice in pairs or groups. Have them practice finding answers and explaining to each other so they begin to use the language and process the information. Some examples are different games that they can do, turn to your partner, sorts, generating questions, etc. And then finally, you want to move into independent practice. Give a couple of Right There questions and have them practice finding the answers on their own. Meet back as a whole group and discuss the answers and process together so that students can verify correct answers. And now we're going to do the mailing passage.
Then after the group finds the answer, the questioner asks the group to explain how they found that answer. Another simple game for multiple question types or strategy review. Play the game as above, but add in additional question stem cards after they are taught. Along with finding the question and explaining how they found it, the group could identify the type of question the questioner is asking. Another type of game, you could do some sorts. After reading aloud a selected piece of text, divide the students into pairs. Supply each group a small copy of the poster. Give students question strips about the text and have them take turns sorting them into each part of the poster and explaining why they think they go there. Remember, it's the process, not the type, that is important. This slide is the question stems. Application to SOLs. You will find that very few right there or on my own questions are on an SOL reading test. Since most questions are think and search and author and me, it is more important than ever to teach students thinking strategy to answer questions. Some tips to remember. Take your time. Focus on one genre at a time and go through the gradual release of responsibility for each question type of each genre. It's about the process, not the correct question type. Use easy, familiar passages when teaching the process. You want them to focus on learning the process, not get bogged down.
In conclusion, asking questions engages us and keeps us reading. When our students ask questions and search for answers, we know that they are monitoring comprehension and interacting with the text to construct meaning. From the article on essential questions do several things. They stimulate ongoing thinking and inquiry. They raise further questions. They spark discussion and debate, demand evidence and reasoning, point to big ideas and pressing issues, recur throughout the year. Answers proposed are tentative and may change in light of new experiences and deeper understanding. And this concludes our in-service on questioning.
Where do you live?
In the city.
Do you have a house?
Apartment.
Own or rent?
Rent.
What do you do for a living?
Lots of things.
Where's your office?
I don't have one.
How come?
I don't need one.
Where's your wife?
Don't have one.
How come?
It's a long story.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
How come?
It's an even longer story.
Are you my dad's brother?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
38.
I'm your dad's brother, all right.
You have much more hair on your nose than my dad.
How nice of you to notice.
I'm a kid, that's my job.